Alright, YouTube voice on. What's up everyone on YouTube? I'm here with my Twitch friends. I love them dearly and I do love you guys on YouTube as well. Thanks so much for all of the subs as usual. A lot of people have asked me, now that I've said that I'm gonna lab all the matchups, I want to become a competitive player. I've received tons of mails and messages saying, can you please show us when you lab a character, what does it look like? So here I'm with Kuma. Can be a very annoying character. So first off, what I do is I usually check the top 10 moves. You can find these on forums. Kuma, maybe Tekken Reddit, Tekken Zaibatsu, Discord. What are the top 10 moves? And maybe you've played against a lot of Kumas, and maybe you've seen that, for example, and this is the feature you'll be using a lot, CPU opponent action, press up to immediately go to repeat action, and then repeat action 1, record, is what I do rather than move list. And then I just record down back 2, which is the go too low. You'll see this all the time, Kuma players use that, because it has a lot of range, decent damage, and it gives a pretty decent frame advantage. For example, from the top of my head, I know that Kuma players like to do down back 2 into while stunning 4. And in practice mode, we can figure out why they like to do this. I'm gonna press now. Oh, I can't do a while stunning 4, you see? And this is because down back 2 on hit has a lot of advantage. So now we know this. But on block, oh, it says punish. I guess it must be minus 13 or more, because Kazuya's twin pistons are minus 13. However, I can't while stunning 2, as you can see, it does not say punish. So, if you know the frames of your character's punishment, Kazuya jab is 10 frames, 1 plus 2 is 12 frames, down forward 4 is 13 frames, down forward 2 is 14 frames, down forward 1 is 15 frames, down forward 3 is 16 frames. I can actually test every single frame to see how punishable Kuma is on different types of moves. But the best thing is just to Google Kuma frame data, and the very first hit you get is going to be RB Norway, and there you'll find the frame data on all of the characters in the game. I like to have this on my phone, quickly accessible. So here you can see all the frame data. So again, the most important is to see the top 10 moves of every character. So now we saw Kuma's down back 2. What more? I scratch my head. Do Kuma players like to do? Randomly throw out down forward 2 1. Oh, I can hit down forward 1. It is launch punishable. If it's 15 frames, I universally know, you can check my Tekken lecture on frame data. It will help a bit with this. Then we know that generic down forward 2s and hopkicks, they are all 15 frames, meaning that this is launch punishable by the majority of the cast. Some characters are of course an exception, like Bob, Zafina, will not be able to launch that, and that means that Kuma might be able to abuse this move in certain matchups, but of course you have to check the exact frame data. Then maybe, oh, he likes to do forward 2. Can I punish this? That was not a punish. Not a punish. That was a punish. Okay, so you gotta be fast. Can I electric him? I think I should be able to. 9! Okay. Christ. No, I can't. Okay, YouTube curse. I should be able to electric this. I could win Godfist it though. So, step 1, check the top 10 moves, but then equally as important is to see what does Kuma's punishment look like. His 10 frame punishment, his 13 frame punishment, because it is equally as important to know how the opponent's character is going to punish you. What is the range of Kuma's 13 or 10 frame punish? Because that could mean that a move with a lot of pushback, but that is minus 13, like Geese forward 4, is suddenly safe. You know, Jin, for example, is very well known for having bad range on his standing punishment, unless it's minus 15, his can standing launcher. His 2-4, 1+2, very bad range. And it's stuff like this you have to take into consideration because it can give you a huge advantage to know that in the specific matchup. And of course, with a character like Kuma, you might know that he has very weird hitboxes, and this is something you have to do unique combos for Kuma. Do my staple combos work in this matchup? For example, in many instances, your character will switch sides with Kuma at the wall. Kuma's legs are very far back, making lows very prone to whiffing, especially if Kuma is backdashing. And this is general matchup knowledge that you have to check out either in one of my how to counter videos, or I would consult Tekken Zaibatsu Discord. Maybe on the Tekken Reddit you could get some help, but there are various sources in the community. Blasted Salami is great, where you will get some general information. How do I step a character? Oh. Thank you. Most characters are very vulnerable to sidestep in one direction, either left or right. Most moves in their arsenal will whiff to that side. Again, super important to know if you go into a matchup, because many of you, God knows, I don't know how many students I've had who have trouble with the thing we all have trouble with, and it's being, well, Kazuya is not that sort of character, but, you know, getting rushed down by string heavy character, you know, that has very aggressive character, and you just find yourself blocking, and suddenly you're like, oh god, I have to learn 100 different moves to, you know, learn to counter this character. When do I duck? When do I punish? When is the string over? A great thing you can do that bypasses, well, not bypasses, you will need to acquire that mountain of knowledge at some point, but it can be good to know that Kazuya, for example, is very sensitive to sidestep left, and it saves you so much hassle. Most of his attacks just sidestep left, so whenever you see him charging in, just step left. Again, I just want to stress the importance of these general rules. What side do I sidestep? Does this character have range issues? Does this character have punishment issues? Will I get away with stuff I usually don't get away with? So again, like, very important stuff. So general rules on forums, and then what are the top 10 moves of a character? How does this character punish me? And if you play several characters, a lot of people don't even realize that we have simple select these days, where we can go in and we can switch. For example, I want to see Devil Jin's punishment versus Kuma, and you can this is a great way of labbing. You can very quickly switch characters and see it from a different perspective. So again, here I'm with Devil Jin very quickly, and I can again record the down back 2, and I can check for this, you know, Devil Jin's punish versus that, or how do I sidestep this move. A lot of characters have different strengths in their movement, sidestep and backdash, and you can check the sidestepping with Devil Jin, and then you can go to simple select again, and we can check a character that is notorious for terrible movement. We can go with Eddie, and we can try and sidestep again and see, oh, is Kuma's down back 2 more viable versus Eddie due to the fact that he can't sidestep it? And you can very quickly test that. I can't sidestep it. So again, simple select is really your best friend in practice mode, because what you want to know is how all of the different characters engage with each other, hitbox and movement wise. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I know it's a shitload to take in, but this is how I lab the characters. You have to understand the top 10 moves. This is the most important, because most people play the characters the same way. If you've seen one Kuma, you've seen 95% of Kumas. So take a look at the top 10 moves. Are there any general rules I should know about? Check the forums, check the community, there's a lot of great knowledge there. How does this character punish me in return? You know, Bob, no standing launcher that is 15 frames or faster. Oh, that means Negan, you know, forward 1+2, he gets away with his launching power crouch, you won't get launched for it. All Bob will do is do a weaker punish, he won't launch you. Do you know how important that is, going into a Bob fight with Negan, knowing that? So it's like, you have to know how they interact with each other. And then check the different types of movement, also very important. You know, Kazuya's 50-50 versus Eddie. Eddie can't fucking step it. Quite important to know, you know. There's a lot that goes into Tekken labbing. I know I made this sound very complicated, but it's because it is complicated. I'm really trying to make it as basic as possible, but with 46 characters with at least 100 moves each, and the characters are so different from each other, it's you really want to be as thorough as possible in your labbing, especially if you know, want to maybe one day become a, you know, a high-level player or maybe even a competitive player. Yeah, this is how I lab. I just pick a character like Kuma or maybe Jack, and I check the top 10 moves, check the frame data on RB Norway. How do they punish me? What does their movement look like? So yeah, that's basically the rundown of the labbing, and hopefully that was a tiny bit interesting and enlightening, but other than that, I'm gonna wish you a lovely day. Take care.